Welcome, everybody, to the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Celebrity Talk Show series. How is everybody doing today? It's so cool to have you here. Thanks so much for joining us all around the world. It's always a pleasure to have you guys here. And if you're enjoying these episodes, give us a thumbs up, like on the episodes, drop a comment in our comment section on our YouTube channel, and definitely interact with us as well. And to those of you who've been doing that, thanks so much, gang. We really appreciate your enthusiasm, your passion for the Jim Masters Show series coming up in April on, I think late March, early April, on 3 years and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of episodes. Before you know, it'll be episode 1000, which, if you know anything about episodic programming, that is unprecedented. It's been absolutely an incredible ride with all of you. And considering how busy I am during the day with our TV, radio work that we do professionally, this is something else. I tell you, you guys have asked, am I going to do this only during the pandemic? But we've been doing it day after day with all of you. And thanks again for the enthusiasm and all of the spark of energy you have for our cool talk show series, which is quite unique. We don't call them interviews, we call them conversations. Gang, if you'd like to comment while the show is on, you can do that right now in our JMS Lovely chat room. It is open and available for our subscribers. That doesn't cost anything to subscribe. You just hit that red subscribe button. That's it. And click the notification bell so you never miss any of our alerts about all of our episodes as well. And guess what? When you do that, you have an opportunity to really partake in something really cool that we continue to build day after day with all of you from around the world, watching from around the world, our series. Got a very special guest, Terri Jay, who's joining us from Carson Valley, Nevada. I was just sort of in that area not that long ago. Really beautiful. Remember, I was on the television shoot project in Nevada. Thoroughly enjoyed myself. Cowboy shaman, intuitive, medium, animal communicator, and so much more. She loves what she does. She loves where she's located, and she really loves animals. She's absolutely amazing what she does. It's unique, it's special, and we're going to talk about how it all works and some exciting things that are happening in her life as well. As a matter of fact, one of them is that she is actually in this series, the new Peacock original, Paul T. Goldman. That's right. She's in that. She's in with somebody who was also a recent guest. We hope to have her back real soon. The incomparable Dee Wallace, legendary actress, you know, from so many movies, so many shows. Of course, the mom on E.T. and so much more. Dee Wallace was a guest on the Jim Masters Show a few months back. If you missed that episode, you can see it archived right here on our YouTube channel and check out that conversation we had with Dee, which was delightful. It was terrific. Here are the two ladies. There's Dee Wallace on the right, and there's Terri Jay on the left there. And Terry's also the author of several books as well involving the world of intuition. Again, we're going to talk about that, not just her work with animals, but also with the human population as well, the physics of mediumship, Terri Jay. And also, here's another terrific one, 7 easy steps to develop your intuitive ability. As I mentioned, she's a cowgirl shaman. If you don't know what that means, we will definitely explain it to you. She will explain it to you. As I mentioned, keep an eye out for the series. It is on Peacock Network, which of course you guys may know, or maybe you don't. That is owned by NBC, and it's an online network with a lot of great shows. And you can check out Paul T. Goldman. A lot of people are excited and talking about that series. As I mentioned, this is something that she's been doing for a long time, and we're going to talk about, some of the ways that she does it, but also some of the incredible experiences that she has had over the years. I see a lot of comments coming in. Thanks, gang. It's so cool. Since we're talking about this, I thought I would dress sort of in the, I always, if you notice, I always dress according to the theme and the topic and whatever the vibe is for our show. But I've always done that professionally on TV as well, and on film and on stages. I'll dress and the look will match whatever the theme is. So if we were talking about opera tonight, I'd probably be in a tux. Gang, it's so good to have you here. Thanks for all the comments. We say welcome quickly to our JMS Lovely family. That is the faithful who watch the series all the time, who love what we do here. And if this is the first time you're watching the Jim Masters Show series, well, we welcome you. It's always great to welcome new viewers and subscribers and lovelies to the Jim Masters Show live series. So we're going to welcome Terri Jay. Again, she's coming to us from a beautiful part of the country. She's coming to us from Carson Valley, Nevada. And we're going to talk about the incredible things that are happening in her life, but also her involvement in Paul T. Goldman on Peacock Network. It's very exciting. So, gang, get ready. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show live series. Tell a friend about our show. Share the links on your social media. And let's welcome Terri Jay to the Jim Masters Show. Terri, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thanks for having me. It's really exciting to be here.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. How's your day going today there in Carson Valley?
Very busy, very hectic, and I'm not complaining.
Oh, in that order, right?
Right. No, it's really great.
What's a typical day like for you? Because, you're so involved in so many different things all at the same time.
Usually it's getting up early and feeding the horses, cleaning corrals, coming in, doing emails, and getting ready to start readings about 9 o'clock. So I do readings from 9 to noon. Then I take a break in the middle of the day and I start back again at 4 and then go from 4 till 8. So that's pretty much every day.
Yeah. I mean, are you on call too, or do you set, boundaries and times? Because I can imagine people would call you or connect with you at least 24/7 for your advice and information.
Well, I do have some regular clients that call me maybe monthly or bi-monthly just to check in and make sure that they think they're on the right track and do it just to encourage them. I have a lot of professional barrel racers that use me all the time, and they want to check in with their horses and make sure their horses are doing well and feeling good and ready to go. And I'm also working on my next book, which is about communication with dogs.
Oh, that's fantastic. What first got you to realize that you had these abilities? Was this something that you noticed first, or that others in your family and in your life noticed? Tell us about that. And what was it that was noticed first? These abilities that you have that have been further developed, Terri.
Well, I'm a really down to earth Nevada cowgirl. I've been a horsewoman my whole life, and I am not into woo woo stuff at all. I would never go see a psychic or get my cards read. I don't believe in astrology. I'm going to get letters for that one. But I think the sun, the moon, and the stars impact you. I don't think other people can predict it. And also, I don't believe in predictions. They're unethical due to the law of attraction. And anyway, what I was doing was a horseback therapy program with disabled kids. And I picked a kid up out of his wheelchair and put him on the back of one of my horses. And he looked at me and he said, "Ouch, I have a cramp in my hip." Well, that's kind of normal for them. So I said, "Well, here, sit this way. It'll take the cramp out." And he said, "Hey, you can hear me." And I said, "Well, of course I can hear you." It didn't dawn on me at the time that he was completely nonverbal. So we went around doing our horseback therapy. We did vaulting, which is gymnastics on horseback. And so when we were done, obviously we carried on this conversation that had nothing to do with horses. So I took him off the horse and put him back in his wheelchair, and he went back to class. And the gal that was helping me said very sarcastically, "Boy, he's sure talking good." And I looked at her, I wasn't catching on. And I said, "Well, he's very bright. Just because he has cerebral palsy doesn't necessarily mean he has any cognitive issues." And she said, "Terri, he didn't say a word. He can't, remember?" And if I was a horse, I would have done a buck fart snort, because when they're spooked, they do all three of those things at one time.
Yes.
And so I said, "Hold the horse. I'm going to go to the classroom." And I went in the classroom, and they put a band around his head with a pointer, and he had typed out on his computer, "Horse lady can hear me."
Wow.
So I had instant confirmation that I did, in fact, hear him. And then I could stay there with him and talk with him. And it was really kind of shocking because I could hear his thoughts. And he thought in words. It wasn't like he was thinking in pictures or something like maybe a child on the spectrum might. So I had it confirmed, and I went back outside and told the gal what had happened. And she just very matter of fact said, "Well, if you can hear him, you ought to learn to communicate with the horses, because all animals are telepathic."
Yes.
And I thought, okay.
Yeah.
And that
horses are such beautiful animals.
1990.
1990.
1990, yeah. I've been out for 33 years.
33 years. Horses are such beautiful animals as well. And they they have these healing abilities, right? They can recognize when we aren't feeling well, when we're down and our spirits are low, can't they?
Oh gosh, yeah. Somebody was telling me one time that the energy from the horse's heart radiates 4 feet out from their body.
Mm.
So that the energy of it. So I'm not going to argue with that because that's what it feels like.
Now, had you always been drawn to horses when you were a kid as
Yes,
well?
I
Yeah.
was very blessed that my parents got me riding lessons from the time I was 9, and I think I got my first horse when I was about 15 or 16. And I got to show on a Class A circuit, that's a heck of a start for a child when
Yes.
you hadn't done it before. And
Right.
one thing's just led to another, and then I've just had all kinds of experiences with them my whole life. I did vaulting with the disabled kids for off and on for 35 years. So that was a lot. That was a lot, and I loved it. Oh God, I just loved it. But it's so ironic that that's how I knew I was telepathic at the very least. And it's just evolved into just an incredible experience for me. And I look forward to doing every single reading every single day.
Is it something that, obviously you're working with animals, but is it something you also then realized at the same time that you had the ability with humans as well?
Yeah, that was kind of wrong place, wrong time. Seriously.
Which
Um,
happens, yeah.
I had a lot of garbage coming into this. And so in my own healing process, I got tools on how to heal myself. And so I can share those tools that I've had and received and worked with for many, many years with my clients. And the results have just been absolutely dramatic. Whether it's healing a disease that is supposedly not healable, or helping with relationships or finances, getting people on a happy path is what I call it.
Right. That's so important, isn't it? To have
It,
that
it
opportunity to do that. So when you do this work, again, maybe we can define the work of an animal communicator. Tell us about that.
Well, I think it involves three things. It's animal communication, it's veterinary intuition, so you can find out medically what's wrong, especially when the vets are completely missing it. And then it's animal mediumship, where you can communicate with animals that have passed away. So there's three really real strong aspects to doing animal communication. I love doing all of it.
When you first realized these abilities, were you taken back by it? Were you surprised? Did it scare you? Any of those sort of reactions, or did you just embrace it right away?
I think I was just too naive to know what all was involved in what I was doing. I'm very pragmatic person. And so when I started hearing things from animals, and I've had dogs and cats and horses my whole life, but when I started hearing things even from my animals, it just really wasn't hitting home like, Terry, not everybody does this. And so when I started doing it, I was married to a really gifted horse trainer at the time. If he wasn't an alcoholic, I'd probably still be married to him. But he would always have horses coming in. We probably always had about 24, 25 horses on the property at any
Mm,
given time. So
yeah.
he was always picking my brain. Hey, come talk to this one. And let's say I can do it from in the kitchen. I can hear the horse from in the kitchen. And so he dragged me out there to, communicate with the horses. And it's when we also got into holistic care for horses too. They have to have regular chiropractic care. They have to. They're only designed by nature to graze and run from predators. That's it.
Mm,
And so they have to have regular chiropractic. And most behavior problems on horses are caused by pain, and usually undiagnosed pain.
right.
So it's really important for them to have regular chiropractic, and then they've got to have some modality for soft tissue too. And so they get everything at my house.
You really take care of them, right? How many do you have? How many horses do you have?
I just have 3. I know this sounds
Okay.
funny to go, I just have 3, but I
Right.
used to have 25, so it's
Yeah.
not a lot. It's not a lot,
Yeah. But
but I just
still,
love them.
what are their names?
I have Duchess and Lacey and Artie Farty. Those are my 3 horses.
Oh, that's cool. We got this
Yeah.
photo here. Who is this?
That's Duchess. Duchess is really weird too because my friend Linda, who died, walked into Duchess. She did a walk-in, and that's very common to have that happen. I'm not real familiar with a lot of people walking into animals, but I would
When
never
you
tell
say
you
that,
it's not
what
possible.
for our audience, tell us what that means when you walk in.
Well, the spirit of the person that dies walks into the animal, and it can
Mm,
happen with all animals. But
mhm.
Duchess went from being a very dull horse, not interactive, to being an absolute comedian. She does zippers and Velcro. She will give you a facial. She says it's kisses, but your whole face is going to get slimed.
Yeah.
And she also picks up her dish and hands it to you when she's done eating. I mean, she's just weird.
You know, I described you in the beginning, or you described yourself as a cowgirl shaman. Let's define what that is, and maybe intriguing for our viewers, and they may be saying, "What is a cowgirl shaman?"
Well, I've been a horse person my whole life, and horse person shaman just doesn't have a ring to it. And and I've been fairly Western. I've been known to get Western here, so cowgirl just fits, and I'm proud to be one. And a shaman is a healer, and a healer that also can communicate with the other side, and that just perfectly describes what I'm able to do. Because even just the information that I give people can be healing for the animals and the humans. It's just incredible.
Do you have people coming to you who you're first working with their animal, but then they have questions about themselves and their own life, and those maybe that have left as well?
Oh, absolutely. I think the best thing about my readings is number one, I'm very inexpensive, 50 and 90 half hour. That's like the lowest rates in the industry. And I've had people go, "Oh, now that you're a TV star, you have to raise your rates." And I'm, nope, not going to do it because I have so many horse poor clients. They would never be able to afford me if I raised my rates. And I still want to, serve them too. So usually what'll happen is I'll be doing a reading on an animal, and then my guides will they'll either smack me in the back of the head or something and go, hey, look at that, they have a problem. And then I tune into the human client and very gently ask, can we talk about this? I'm picking up this problem that you have. Can we work on it? And usually they break down crying. How did you know? How can you get that? And but it usually has a really, really positive result. So it's really an honor to be able to do this work.
This is incredible. And again, doing it for over 30 plus years, this really has become, your calling in life, hasn't it?
Absolutely. And I'm working very hard at getting my own television show too. I'm busy trying to find an agent that can pitch it. They can pitch my show.
Merlin
So
says, have you read anyone's animals that are famous?
yes, I absolutely have. And I cannot share that information because I'm like Fort Knox when it comes to privacy.
But you have, yeah. So that's
Oh, yeah.
cool. There's your answer, Merlin.
Yeah.
She also asks, how does one get over the fear of horses? A lot
Oh,
of
just
people
by
are
being
afraid of
around
them.
them. By being around them.
Yeah.
Especially mine, they're such goofs. We only have one rule here at the house. And if you come over to see the horses, you're responsible for your own toes. That's it. We take care of the rest of it, but you're responsible for your own toes. If you get stepped on, that's your fault. So other than
And kind of
that,
like a fire engine, keep back 500 feet.
no, my horses they'll stick their butt in your face to get it scratched. They're awful.
That's
No manners. No manners.
no manners at all.
Like, hey, you're not busy. You're just standing there doing nothing. Hey, scratch my butt.
That's
That's how they are.
Tell us about some of the other things that you do that's encompassed in all this work, Terry.
Oh gosh, it's so much. Um, I do gold dowsing on maps. Somebody can say, okay, I have a gold claim, and this is where that gold claim is. Can you tell me where on that claim I can find gold? And it's so fun because I've been spot on for a lot of people doing that. I'm just laughing about it because one time we have a roommate and he's a land surveyor. His name's Dave. And so he always would put his maps out on the kitchen table. And I walked past one time and my little pinky started just going like this. And he says, "What?" And I said, just a minute. And my little pinky was going. And my little pinky was on the map telling him where the gold was. And it was just what's called a 7.5 minute map that just has contour lines. There's nothing else on there. And I told him where there was a house. I told him where there was a fault line. I told him where there were old tailings and new tailing piles and which piles to rework. And it was a gas. And he found gold there. Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
That's amazing. What are some other things that you do in this whole wonderful world?
I've been able to find water on
Really?
maps. And I do lost pets. I don't like doing them. It's always somebody going, well, this one time, and it's, we've got a, lost animal, but I won't do lost outdoor cats, and I won't do lost indoor outdoor cats. There's no sense because they're going to bring them home and lose them again. They're going to let them out again. So those I won't do, but lost dogs, lost cats that are indoor cats that somehow escape. Yes. Happy to do those. And so what happens is they give me the animal's name, age, what breed, and also the circumstances on how it went missing. And I can pick up that animal's energy on the map. Again, it's just physics. So it's been really successful. I'm always shocked because they write me and say, wait, we found him just where you said. What? It helped, but it does. So
Like you mentioned, you don't do predictions and you also don't do police work, but I don't doubt that you've probably had people in law enforcement and other areas who have come to you hoping that you would help with projects, with investigations, with research, because you have this keen ability, right? That you've probably been approached over the years.
I can't do yucky stuff. I can't do negative stuff. I just can't. And there was one time I was at my chiropractor's and he said, hey, are you getting anything on that double homicide? And I went, And then I just went, blah, 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 and gave him all these details. And I didn't know he was best friends with the adult children of the people who had been murdered. And so he shared the information with the adult children. And I got home to the sheriff on my doorstep. You need to come with us. And I was like, why? You have information about, this case? And I said, well, that's what I do. I'm an intuitive. And you could see him go, oh, we don't have to put her in cuffs. So I did help out on that case, but I don't like it. And people love doing this. So go get them, because there's a lot of people that love doing this. And you have to tune into the perpetrator to get the information, and they're yucky. It's so disgusting.
You can get depressed and you can be down all day just knowing all the grim facts. And absolutely. Some people, they hear intuitive, they hear medium, they hear psychic.
No, I don't use psychic.
Sort of break that out for us, the differences for people, because sometimes, it's lumped all together in one description. How do you define it all?
A medium communicates with the deceased, and I do humans and animals. And some of the stuff, it's like, you can't make this stuff up. I really think that's what my show should be called, is I can't make this stuff up. But I'd really like to use the other S word. That's what I would like to do, because you can't, it's just too specific. So that's what a medium is they communicate with people on the other side. An intuitive gets intuitive information. And we're all born with intuition, clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience, and claircognizance. Clair just means clear. So it's clear knowing, clear hearing, clear feeling, clear seeing. We all have all of it. We turn it off in childhood. So then it's just a matter of turning it back on. These are not gifts. These are not gifts. And it doesn't make you special. Maybe short bus special, but not special. And that's what the intuitive part of it. And telepathy is just a part of that. If you develop all of these abilities, then you can be telepathic too.
Exactly right.
And
Yes.
if I can, Jim, there's a lot of mediums who don't have discernment. And I want to share this because it protects people. We're energy. We're 99% energy. We're only 1% physical. So when our spirit leaves our body, we return to being 100% pure positive energy. So only those things that are a vibrational match to source can go to the other side. So everything negative, pain, suffering, anguish, unfinished business, regrets, all of that negative stuff gets shed off and left behind in the earthly realm. Now, in order to determine is it positive or negative energy, you have to hone your ability at discernment. And a lot of mediums have no discernment. So they will tune into that negative energy garbage that was left behind, and they will share that information as if it is how the person is on the other side. And it's not. I mean, people on the other side can't even perceive anything negative in the earthly realm. It's just all happy, positive stuff. It's like if you say, I miss you, they can't hear you. If you say, I love you, they say, I love you too.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
You're
But that's
also a
why-
medical intuitive too, right? Tell us
Oh,
about
yeah,
that.
that's so fun. There was just, if you guys want to see this, go to the Terri Jay page on Facebook, and you'll see this testimonial that this gal just wrote for me, because she finally took her horse to the vet, and I had looked at the horse a couple months ago, and this is a great vet, Marty Gardner, and he went all through the horse, and at the very end he said, well, the horse has a pinched nerve in its right shoulder. And everybody's jaw dropped. And the gal said, that's what Terri said. So Dr. Gardner said, who's Terri? And she had to explain. And he said, when did she see the horse? Oh, she did it by phone. What? Yes, she did it by phone. Well, the funniest thing was there was a guy there from Ireland with his sport horses. And he said, give me her number. So I've already done a reading for him because he was like, nobody can figure out what was wrong with his horses. And so that's my role. My role is not a veterinarian. It's not a substitute for your veterinarian. You call me when the vets are stumped. That's when you use my abilities. But that was really funny that everybody's jaw dropped. That's what Terri said. So, and that happens all the time too.
Some people may have heard this expression, like they've heard ghost whisperer, horse whisperer. Tell us what a horse whisperer is, because you are one.
You know, I think that's a very misused expression. A lot of people liken it to a horse trainer. Well, a horse trainer usually trains the horses and then they go off someplace else, like back to the owners, or they do something, they go someplace else, do something else. But to me, being able to communicate with a horse throughout his whole life is what true horse whispering is, where you get tastes and smells and sounds and visual images from the horse and feelings. You know, you really need to tune into it. There's so many horses that, you know, they're broke to death horses, wonderful horses competing. And I tune into them and it's like, oh my God, this horse is a 7 on the pain scale. And I ask, so when was the last chiropractic? For a horse? Yeah, for a horse. They need it all the time. And have you done anything for soft tissue? No. And so this is why we have a sore horse. And so it's really important for people to understand that, you know, they're going to require regular maintenance. And the communication that I teach, it's for the whole life of the horse, not just for when you're training him and getting him to respond. It's not just then. And this is why I think it's really important for people to develop their communication abilities for the life of the horse.
Absolutely.
And it's learnable.
And
you know, I've taught hundreds and
you
hundreds of people how to
teach
do
too,
this.
don't you? Right.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, yes, absolutely. You know, if these were gifts, I wouldn't be able to teach it, would I? I wouldn't be able to teach it if these were gifts. It would only be certain people that I hit over the head with my magic wand and they could do it.
I bet you have people that do say that these are gifts that you have.
Yes, and I always try to say, no, they're abilities. They're
Abilities, right.
absolutely abilities. But,
Yeah.
you know, because I've been doing this so long, all day, every day,
Yeah.
you get to where it's, you almost want to go, can't you see that? Can't you feel that? You know,
Yeah.
because, you know, I'm getting it so strong, but it's like, and people are closed off to it. They're really closed off.
You also do autism and Alzheimer's communication as well. And that sounds
Oh,
really fascinating and so, you know, apropos for the times, as unfortunately those two areas are just growing and growing and growing. in terms of just people that are dealing with that. Tell us about your interest in that and how that works for you.
Well, a lot of people don't realize that we have 7 to 9 million people in the United States that can't communicate, due to illness, injury, or disease. And we have a lot of kids on the spectrum, and again, of course, adults on the spectrum, that they don't have the ability to communicate verbally, and they also don't have the wherewithal to communicate with any kind of a communication device. And so for them, I think it's really important for the parents to learn to develop their own intuitive abilities, because autistic kids are so intuitive, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but they communicate kind of the same way that animals do, more with a visual image or a taste, a smell, a feel. That's not derogatory either. It's just that the communication seems the same. What's that gal that she's a PhD and she was a nonverbal autistic, Temple Grandin. Oh my goodness. She couldn't understand why she could communicate with the animals in her house and outside, and she couldn't communicate with the humans, and that was her childhood. And she finally, has just done great things, and she's very, very admired and renowned, and she lectures on it and has written books on it. And so I think it's really important for everybody to try to learn to do this.
Yeah.
The book I wrote called Intuitive Communication, Communicating with People That Cannot, is so important. And I really targeted it towards first responders, medical personnel, and caregivers. And that's who that book is for. Like law enforcement, and they see somebody passed out on the street, and their first thought is it's a drunk or a druggie. Well, what if it's somebody that's got a diabetic issue or any other kind of an issue? And just by tuning into that person in a nanosecond, they're going to have their answer. They're going to know, is this a medical condition, or is this, somebody that's overindulged in drugs or alcohol? And it just really saves a lot of, it saves a lot of bad stuff from happening. It really does. Yeah, that's the book. And you can communicate with people that have had a traumatic brain injury, because a lot of times with a TBI, they can't communicate at all, until it's developed back, or it may never come back. Somebody that's in a persistent vegetative state, they're going to have a problem too. And there's so many people that they're in a persistent vegetative state, and some of them are locked in. They're not persistent vegetative state. So I think it's really important for people to be able to distinguish, are they in there or not?
Exactly.
And there's so many, neuromuscular diseases too that take away a person's ability to communicate. So this book is really critical for people that are confronted by that. And I think it really helps. Oh, this book I did last year. And it's going to piss off a lot of people when they read about it. It'll really piss off a lot of mediums, because their selling feature is, ooh, they're special, they're gifted, and this says, oh, BS, you are not. This is physics, energy, frequency, vibration. Anybody can learn to do it. And it brings you so much closer to your loved ones, pets and humans that have passed. My mom drives me nuts. She's been gone 4 years now. We still have coffee together every morning, and she's always trying to get me to eat something bad, like cookies or brownies or something.
Mom is trying to get you to do that?
Oh, yes. And my birthday's coming up, and she said, you better get crab's legs, because that's her favorite. And it's like, Mom, not my favorite, okay? I'd rather have a lobster tail, but she's a troublemaker.
Wow, you're sure you're from Ohio originally? You're sure you're not from the East Coast? Those are East Coast items.
Oh, no, we did have them in Ohio, even though it was, very rural.
Yeah. Shipped in from Maine and Maryland, right?
Yeah, we still have good, and we have good stuff out here in Nevada too.
Yes.
Lots of beef.
Nevada's wonderful.
Yeah, I just love it here. This is my first book, The Cowgirl Shaman Way, 7 Easy Steps to Develop Your Intuitive Ability. And I really break it down to where you can do everything that I do. And I really want people to learn to do it. And this book was really fun to write. It probably took me 10 years, no joke. but I finally got it to where I was happy with it and thought, all right, let's publish it. And I'm really happy with it. It's silly, it's fun, and it really breaks down the simplicity of getting out of your own way, not being an ego, how to make that energetic connection to the people that you want to talk with, and just really starting to use your ability.
You have something exciting, out of all of these years of doing all of this, being noticed to the point of being invited to be a part of this Peacock original series that everybody's talking about, Paul T. Goldman. Tell us about the series, but also tell us about how you got involved in it, and congratulations.
Thank you. I'm a lot in the third episode, a little bit in the fourth, and I haven't watched the last one, just because I haven't watched it. But I did a reading for Paul back in 2005. He called me and said that his brand new bride was insisting on having her name put on all of his assets, and he wasn't comfortable with that. And I said, God, she feels like a hooker. And he
Mm.
said, what? I said, yeah, she wants your, instead of wanting the money on the dresser, she wants your stuff. He said, it's my wife. I said, I don't care. I said, she's not who she says she is. So, excuse me. That sort of set him
It gets
off
you
on
all
a
choked
journey.
up.
No, that was a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Anyway, it got him on a very critical journey looking at who is she? Who is she really? And does he have a chance to save this marriage? And of course, the answer was no, because she was basically a con artist. And I don't want to share much more, but I kept doing interviews for him, not interviews, readings, and telling him what he needed to do. And he turned it into a book, and then wrote a screenplay, and he was fortunate enough to get it made into a TV series.
Yeah, which is again streaming on Peacock, and you've had an opportunity to interact with the legendary actress Dee Wallace, who was a guest on our show, and it's so beloved. And what's that like for you?
Oh God, she's my friend now. I mean, we've become friends. They could not have picked anybody better to play me than her. Seriously. Um, she's all into energy healing and stuff. I
She
mean, that's what
is
she does part-time.
consciousness, and yeah,
Yeah. So she is
mindset.
a treasure. She is a freaking treasure. Just comes from her heart.
Yeah.
There's not one egotistical part of her. She's so giving and caring and loving. I can't say enough about her. Just really, really an incredible human being. And we had a blast. I got to watch her play me. That was weird. So they had cameras on me while I was watching her. And it was so weird because I'd go, I said that. You know what I mean? Because, wait, that's my line.
So did
I'm
you
just
have to supply them with, did you keep journals, and how did you give them the information so the scripts matched, reality?
Well, Paul actually recorded my readings with him. He
Ah,
had my permission. I don't have anything to hide. I have
yeah.
clients all the time going, can I record this? Hell yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Go ahead, you bet. Let me know if there's anything good in it.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So he recorded the readings that I did for him. And then he was able to just transcribe them and use them. So it was really great. It was really fun being there. I did a reading for her, and then I did a reading for, I think, one or two of the actresses that were there too. It was so fast. I don't remember what happened, but it was really fun.
Quite amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it was an experience.
Mm.
I've been on sets before, and of course, the whole film crew came here to Carson Valley in 2017,
Is that
and
where it's been? Where have they been filming it? Is it all around
all
LA and
over,
all
all
over?
over, yeah.
All
So they
over.
came here to Carson Valley and filmed us in a house that we were renting. It's not where we live now. And that was an experience. It really was. To have camera crews, and they trash your house. I mean, they move everything and they put up all their equipment. And when they leave, everything is absolutely back where it was supposed to be. It's incredible what
I've
they
been
do.
on shoots like that, and it's extraordinary, right? You're first, you're panicking, like, oh wow, they're the
I
homeowner
know.
or the
Right.
office, whatever, and It's amazing. They know exactly where everything went.
They do. They
And
just put it
sometimes
right
it
back
looks
where it
better
went.
than the way it was before. The chair, you put the chair in that other spot, and you're like, actually, I like the chair there better.
The funny thing is when Dee is doing her lines, my lines, but when she's speaking, she's in this chair that's cowhide covered. And I have that chair at home. I mean, that's my chair at home.
Do
It's
you
just so
really?
funny.
How
But
ironic is that, huh?
yeah, I wish they would have let me give her some of my shirts that I was wearing back in 2005 because I
Oh,
wore like t-shirts that had horses all over them.
oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I still
Wow.
have some of them. Now I just wear my logo shirts, but
Now you just
I
wear
was
the
like,
logo shirt.
let me give you some shirts because what they had on her was like, oh God, did you get that at Goodwill? Come on.
Right.
It was pretty bad.
We actually have a trailer that was sent, Paul T. Goldman, the official trailer on Peacock, and give people a sense of what this is about. And let's give that a shot, and we'll play that right now. And here it is, gang.
I'm a regular guy that got caught up in extraordinary circumstances. This story is as accurate as it is unbelievable. I couldn't make this up. It happened to me.
Paul, is this what happened?
It's all been put in the book. I'm a single dad raising my son Johnny. I always brought Johnny with me on my first dates. Then I came across a woman, family-oriented, stay-at-home mom. Audrey?
Let's cut there. How does that feel, Paul?
He's the main guy. He's gonna play himself.
Guilty as charged, Your Honor.
Wow, that's weird.
Action.
Shortly after we were married,
She was trying to fleece Paul out of money.
What'd you do?
I'm getting a psychic reading.
I'm Terri Jay. I'm a pet psychic.
I'm sensing that this is bigger than we think.
What?
I said that.
That started the discoveries of her secret double life.
She had a secret phone and she had secret addresses.
This is the spot.
This woman must be stopped.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You gonna leave me hanging?
I went and paid a visit to the FBI.
In this story, every time you turn over a rock,
I'm the warrior now.
you'll find several more pebbles.
I get goosebumps.
I'm in full stealth mode.
This case haunts me. It started off here and it just went here.
Beam me up, Scotty. I'm in the Twilight Zone.
I don't know that it makes
No. This is the script now. Don't worry, it'll be great.
That's amazing, huh? So how do you feel whenever you see those types of things? It's come a long way over 30 years, and look at all this, huh?
Yeah, it's been an adventure. I'm really excited to get my show done too, because I think it's going to help a lot of people. Sometimes when I do readings, and some days I'm doing 12 readings a day, eight half hour. No, not my math's wrong. I do 4 hours and 4 hours, so that's 8 hours and 2 readings. You can do the math. But that's a lot of readings, and I just feel like, didn't I do this last half hour? Wait, same issue, same, different person, same issue, and I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over. And I never want to cheat my clients of information. So there's so many times where I go, did we talk about this yet?
We
Because
talked about that.
I've just done it and done it and done it, and it's the same issue.
Do you find that sometimes also to be the case based on what's going on in society? Like, of course, we've been dealing with the pandemic. Are there a whole new slew of things that people are dealing with as a result of that you're finding when you're chatting with them?
Not too much. Not too much. People are pretty they're I don't want to call them self-centered like in a bad way, but people are just trying to live their own lives is what I've found. And so they're concerned about their horses or their dogs, or they're grieving and they can't feel like they can move past it or get over it, or they're having issues in their relationship and don't know what to do about it. And these are the things that I can help them with, and I'm honored to help them. I really am. And you just do it with unconditional love. You just give them love, and then when they start talking about their problems, you can actually feel it and then receive the guidance for them. That's really important, to get guidance that's specific to every person. And it's just so specific to each person. It's just incredible.
You also do coaching as well, you mentioned, right?
Absolutely. I love to teach people how to do this, and I have coaching packages on my website where they can either do it here in person for 3 hours, or we can do it like on a Zoom for 3 hours, or FaceTime or something, or we can actually do it by phone. And they get my books and study and try it, and then I will help them with the stuff that isn't, where they're still stuck and having problems.
There's still additional things to learn. Are you a lifelong learner? Are you always learning and enhancing the abilities and growing with all of this?
Jim, I learn in every reading. I seriously mean that. Every single reading, I learn something else. So yes, I am a lifelong learner. And if I had to study something, man, I'm studying physics and quantum physics. I know that sounds funny. You're a cowgirl and studying physics,
Hey,
but
yeah.
oh my goodness, I just love it. I love the endless possibilities of it. So,
Uh,
so I am always learning, but it's reading to reading, and it's funny because my guides will go, "Oh, say that softly, say that softly. Don't be harsh. Don't be bossy." And
softly.
they'll tell me like how to present it even. So
Mm.
so I do that. It's fun because it makes me a better listener to guidance.
Sometimes I ask this question of actors and actresses, colleagues who get very immersed in a character. How do they separate the character that they're immersing, or they're allowing to immerse them, from themselves? Sometimes I'll ask nurses and doctors. We have several in our family, or police officers, firefighters, EMTs, um, grief counselors, folks that work at hospice. How do they not become numb and lose all empathy, but how do they detach from all of the continual? Now, even though you're not doing necessarily police work and that type of thing, still what you hear, what you witness, what you feel, and what you see, and what you share can be deep. It can be incredibly emotional on many different levels. So how does Terri find the balance to be able to be fresh every time and not allow something that can be incredibly emotional for everybody involved to consume Terri, but yet at the same time still be empathetic and kind and warm and you know in tune with what's actually happening from an emotional standpoint?
I think you really have to start with being a happy person, happy, grounded, needs met, and you can only help others to heal their life to the level and degree that you've healed yourself. And that is, to me, is like an absolute. It's the same thing as if you only love yourself at 2, then that's all you have for anyone else. And people don't realize that. You have to have self-love. And I love my work. I'm excited about it. Every reading to me is like opening a Christmas present. Every single one. Like, oh, what's going to be in this one? What am I going to learn from this one? How am I going to help in this one? And that's how I never lose my enthusiasm. When my clients ask me, they're going, "How are you?" And I go, "Fan-freaking-tastic," because I am. I really am. And you have to be able to separate out your work from your personal life. You have to be able to do that. And so what I do for relaxation is cook. I'll cook for the family, or I ride. I love my horses. I'm a horse addict, and I really missed it because of our weather being so crappy. And so being on a horse and riding is my nirvana, and that really recharges me. So then really that's pretty much my life, is working, writing. I'm, working on my 4th book and riding my horses, seriously.
You said you like to cook. What's Terri Jay's specialty?
Oh, meatloaf, probably.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Ooh, I like making a good meatloaf too.
Yeah.
Sometimes we doctor it up and change it. Um, do you like to surround yourself or your surroundings? I know you have the beautiful mountain backdrop there, but generally, are you surrounded by things that provide you comfort as the person that is trying to provide comfort for others? Do you try to fill your life with comfort as well?
I don't think I look for comfort. I think I look for things that are aesthetically pleasing. My house is very Western. You know, we redid the whole kitchen when we moved in here. And so we made it open, like an open concept. And I had to have these horse pendant lights. So I've got those bar stools with the cowhide on them. It's pretty Western. And that just gives me an amazing feeling of comfort. It's really funny, but I watch snippets of Yellowstone. I can't watch the whole thing because of the violence. I can't watch any violence, but I watch snippets of it and I go, hey, I miss that. I want to dress my husband up like a cowboy, and he is not having it. He is not having it.
That's where he
No,
draws the line, right?
no, he is no, he says I'm a city boy, but yet he does so much with the horses. So
Mm,
it's really good.
team effort on many levels. What are some of the things that you would consider um, things that have enriched you by doing this work? Again, congratulations on being a part of that Peacock series. I know that's very, very exciting. But also for you personally, what are some of the things that enriched continues to enrich your life by doing this extraordinary work, Terry?
I like that I'm doing more work. I'm slammed. I'm booking next week, and I was completely full yesterday. So I'm not used to being this busy. I almost liken it to, up until now I've been skating. Just, yeah, I'll do 3 or 4 today, and
Why do you
maybe none
think it is? Is
tomorrow.
it the
And
exposure on the
yes,
series?
oh yes,
And are a lot of
and
people, is there energy out there that is in need of healing as well in our world?
yeah, and I think some people are just curious. They use the word psychic a lot in the series, and I
Yeah,
try not to
yeah,
use it at all anymore, even for
yeah.
pet psychic.
Pet psychic, yeah.
And so they call me and they go, "Yeah, I want a reading to see what you get." And I won't do them. I will not do them because when I write them back and say I do not do predictions, we're probably
Yeah.
not a good fit.
Right. You don't have the
Um,
crystal ball and all that
no,
type of
it's
stuff, right?
dangerous. This is
We
what
won't
people
we
don't
won't see
get.
you on the boardwalk at Atlantic City or anything.
No, it's
It's not
dangerous to
your
do
thing.
predictions. Seriously, Jim, you know about the
Right.
law of attraction. What you think about, you bring about. So if I
Yes.
see wonderful things in your future and I tell you that because you've been working so hard at it,
Right.
and then you will say, well, Terry said it was going to happen, so I can quit working so hard. Then it doesn't happen, and I'm the schmuck, right?
Mm,
And then if I see something terrible happening to you and I tell you, you yelling no, 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 and trying to prevent it from happening will pull it to you. What we resist persists. And this is why predictions of any kind are incredibly, incredibly dangerous. And and
yeah.
I and I tell people, don't go look for predictions. Empower yourself,
Yeah.
use the law of attraction, and manifest what it is that you want in your life.
That's right.
It's
Exactly.
much it's much better to empower people than to, babysit them. I will never book another appointment for somebody. I've had people say, "Can I book another one?" No, go do your homework, then get a hold of me.
Oh,
'Cause I always
they
give
want you to be right
they
with
want to
them.
develop a codependency. I will not allow it. No, no, no. Go do your homework. And if you need me for any clarification, you can book another little session. Yeah, that's it. So,
That's great.
to me, it's more important to get people empowered than it is to, you know, it, you know, d- it's not, if I was just in it for the money, I'd be charging a lot more, you know, I'd be charging, $500 a half hour, like some people do. I can't do that. I just can't do that.
Mm,
And I give away readings. I give
yeah.
them away to, when I see somebody's having like a charity barrel race or something, I'll donate a gift certificate for a reading.
That's
So
great.
yeah, you always got to give back.
Yes. So
Always.
you're loving it all. You're loving what you're doing, all the opportunities. Looking back at the 3+ decades of doing this, all the lives you've had an opportunity to interact with, animal and human. And this is something that it's just totally in your DNA. It's not something that you just want to do, but you're called to do this work, aren't you?
Yes, and I really would like to do more writing. I wish I had more time to do writing. I take Sundays off to write, and it usually doesn't work that way. You know, the guys will go, "Hey, can you cook something?" "Oh, all right, I'll cook something."
Yes.
And the writing goes by the wayside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is exciting. This is really amazing. And it's been really a pleasure having you on the show. Congratulations on everything, Terri.
Well, thank you, Jim.
Oh, it's a real pleasure. And I stay in touch with us. And, we'll keep that porch light on, like we always say at the Jim Masters show. The viewers already said you're a lovety on the Jim Masters show already, which is kind of cool because there's Grammys, Emmys, Tonys, Tellys, Peabodys, Oscars, all these great awards. But when you get told you're a lovety on the Jim Masters
that's
show, are
so
your feet
nice.
tingling right now?
The whole body's tingling.
One guest said they started levitating as a result.
Neat trick.
I tell you, let's say I said, can we see that?
Yeah, really.
Here is the series on Peacock to look out for, folks. Peacock original, Paul T. Goldman, and our very special guest, Terri Jay, is in it. And again, she loves what she does, and she's very experienced at it, and she cares. And as you can tell, she has a lot of energy and a lot of passion and a lot of heart for what she does. As I've mentioned as well, this is her website here, terrijay.com. It's very interactive. You can check out a lot of what we talked about and lots more on the website. And I hope the show met whatever expectations you had, Terri Jay, and you enjoyed the time with me as much as I absolutely have with you.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. And I'd love to be back anytime.
Spread the word about the Jim Masters show series. We would absolutely love that as well.
Will do.
Somebody else that pops in towards the latter part, Mr. George Burns, just wanted to say hello. He pops in with his cigar and his red hanky, and my aunt collected dolls, a serious collector of dolls, and this got passed down in the family. So he always pops in and gives his greeting and hello, and sends his love from himself and from Gracie from up above.
Oh, that's so cool.
Isn't it? I tell you, this is a cool thing to have passed down in the family. And he pops in a little bit towards the end. Truly a blessing, and congratulations on everything, and nothing but continued blessing and joy in your life going forward. Really, this was a wonderful conversation. I really appreciate all the time, Terri Jay.
Thank you so much.
You be well and take care, okay?
Okay.
I would love to see you now just sort of ride off on a horse into the sunset.
What a cool
ending that would have been, right? She just goes as the sun is setting.
I'm in my office. I can't do that.
What is the weather like? Do you guys have snow there?
We're getting up to about 40 during the day. We have snow on the ground. The ground's frozen. So it's not riding weather yet.
That's not. What is perfect riding weather for those who don't know what is?
It just depends on the person.
The person, yeah.
There's a lot of people like riding in the cold.
So how comfortable you are, right? Exactly.
Well, I have to go call a client. So I
call a client, have a cup of coffee or tea. You've earned it. And you be well, my friend Terri. Thanks for joining us on the Jim Masters Show. A blessing and a pleasure. Take care. Bye-bye now. She's calling a client, and we thank all of you for joining us here on the Jim Masters Show live series. Thanks for the great comments. Here again is the series that's on Peacock, which is the streaming network that's owned by NBC. That's right. Terri Jay is our guest. And as I mentioned, she's a cowgirl shaman, which she defined for us, intuitive medium and animal communicator as well. And Dee Wallace was a guest on our show, and Dee Wallace plays Terri Jay in this series on the Peacock network. Isn't that cool? Yeah. Remember I was telling you I was in Nevada not that long ago on a television shoot, and I got an opportunity to ride Mocha, beautiful horse, and we had such a wonderful time. Horses are beautiful. We were on a TV shoot, and we were at a ranch in Yerington, Nevada, and it was really, really fantastic. And take a look at a couple of comments here before we wrap up this episode. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this episode, maybe you want to do a super chat, super emoji, super sticker, which actually helps support our series. Super thanks which is the heart icon. Also, give this episode a like, drop a comment on our YouTube channel under the episode as well. We appreciate that. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. That means the world to us as well. Helps us grow when you do all of those things. This has been a really interesting show. Thank you, lovely Terri, for being here. Thanks, Jim, for having her on the show. You are very welcome, Jane. My pleasure as well. And thank you for being here, Terri. Great show. Thank you, Kathleen. And thanks, Jim. Great show. I hope you're feeling better. Watch the show yesterday in the archives with Tim Stevenson, one of America's finest landscape painters. It was extraordinary. A lot of people are viewing that. So sit and relax. Have some chicken soup, my friend, and maybe a cup of warm tea or a hot cocoa. You'll be well. And thank you very much as well. And thank you very much as well. Thank you. Thank you. Look at all these great comments. Thanks to Sherry as well, and everybody. This is your host, Jim Masters. Thanking you for your time this time. Until next time, take care, be well. We don't say goodbye. We say moi loop, slancha, cheerio, cheers, hasta la vista. Let's see, what else? Slancha, sayonara, cheerio, and all the rest. Join us for the next episode of the Jim Masters Show. Tomorrow, we've got a guest who's also starring in some epic productions. As a matter of fact, 3 series all at the same time. 3 women on Showtime. The brand new Mayor of Kingstown. He's got a recurring role in this, starring Jeremy Renner, of course, and Poker Face, which is actually debuting tomorrow. And that's the day he's on our show, which is cool. That's on Peacock as well. 3 series that actor Marcus L. Brandon is starring in right now. And we're going to have him on our show exclusively tomorrow. It's going to be amazing. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Also, Tim Chismar is going to be with us. He's a phenomenal best-selling author, award-winning speaker, headlining comedian, and actor. He's going to be with us on Friday on the Jim Masters Show, Entertainment, Lifestyle, Celebrity Talk Show series. We thank Terri Jay for joining us. We thank all of you for joining us here on the show as well. Thanks for being with us, gang. You guys take care and be well. We love you all. Don't forget to give this episode a like. We would love if you do that. And leave a comment for us on the YouTube channel. And don't forget to subscribe. And the mini me, Mr. Lovety, got a little cotton on there coming out of the box. We keep him preserved in the box because he's brand new. It was a gift from Maureen in Arizona. The mini me, Mr. Lovety here. We say good night to you as well, or take care, or good morning, be well, whatever time of day it is. From all of us here at the Jim Masters Show. Take care. We love you all. Don't forget, you can binge watch hundreds of episodes on our YouTube channel right here, Jim Masters TV. Share the links, share the sunshine. See you on the next episode. Cheers.